Congress. I look forward to working with our ranking member, Senator Heitkamp, and all of our members as we use this committee to highlight the needs of working families and what Congress can do to help them. In my own state, more than half of Arkansans are living paycheck to paycheck. But perhaps it might be more accurate to say many are living on the edge. About 1 in 5 don't have enough savings to pay for a routine visit from an electrician, which would cost only $100. It's even worse for more significant expenses. The vast majority, about 3 in 4, couldn't afford 6 months of unemployment. The numbers look similar in other states. In other words, most Americans are making just enough to get by and nowhere near enough to get ahead. It's precisely because of this that a growing number of Americans are looking increasingly vulnerable as they reach their retirement years, which is the subject of our hearing today. It's hard to overstate just how alarming this situation is. 3 basic items, housing, transportation, and food, make up 63% of the average household budget, and these things are getting more expensive, not less. They're eating up more of the family budget, even more than they did 20 years ago. It doesn't take an economist to figure out that if you're spending more money just to keep the lights on, you've got less to set aside for retirement. And that's exactly what we see today. The number that sums it all up for me is this one. The typical American aged 55 to 62 has only about $14,500 in savings. That's it. And this is at a time when Social Security is sinking further and further into the red. But it's even worse than that. At the very moment that people are seeing their expenses go up, they're also seeing their retirement plan options go down. In 1979, at least a third of our workers had defined benefit plans. Today, it's only 14%. You might say the move from defined benefit to defined contribution plans was inevitable. Overseas competition has increased, and companies were feeling the pressure to become more efficient, and that's fair. But today, fewer workers have access to any retirement plans at all, defined benefit or 401k. And then, even if you do have a 401k, you still may not be saving enough to retire in comfort and security. These are the facts. They call out for a rethinking of how to achieve retirement security in America. We have to rethink how Americans can save and plan for retirement if we hope to maintain the kind of lifestyle to which so many Americans have grown accustomed over the years. Luckily, we have 2 distinguished witnesses to help us think through how to tackle this problem. Our goal today is not to solve the problem, but to answer a few basic questions. How many Americans are prepared for retirement? What's holding them back? And what can Congress do to make it easier for working families to save? First, we will hear from former Senator Kent Conrad of North Dakota, now a senior fellow at the Bipartisan Policy Center, where he co-chaired a commission on retirement security and personal savings. Senator Conrad has done excellent data-driven work on the state of retirement security in the United States, and we're fortunate to have him here. Next, we'll hear from my good friend, Walter Russell Mead, distinguished scholar in American strategy at the Hudson Institute, Chase Professor of Foreign Affairs and Humanities at Bard College, and editor-at-large of the American Interest. Professor Mead has been studying the change in the American workforce over time and its ramifications for many years. Professor Mead has testified many times about foreign policy before Congress, and we're happy to welcome him to the Banking Committee now to discuss economic policy. I want to thank you both for taking the time to join us today. I look forward to hearing your testimony, but first, Senator Heitkamp.